see, I have in the studio Edward Ampa. I'm a lecture beer. Number one were uni. By the time we were uni, na menya nkasa. Because no nza some or a vendor manager, Afrochella.
Yeah.
Akwaba. I like your hair.
Thank you.
What's best? No, see, fine.
Medicine.
A drip.
Oh, Debbie. Hey, the lights.
Hey, a light, eh?
Ejuma lights.
Oh, nice one. Yeah. Let's talk Afrochella.
Yeah, talk to me. What do you want to know?
How did Afrochella start?
So back in 2016, Abdul Karim, he's our CEO. He founded Afrochella himself and Kenneth.
Okay.
Yeah. So they came together. It was a conversation about trying to bring a festival to West Africa and Africa as a whole, because we realized there isn't like one main festival in Africa, Ghana specifically, where is the celebration of the African culture, music, where you have like food displays, you have installations, arts, all of that. So it was just a regular conversation between them, and it was like, let's just do this. Let's go ahead and do it. So then the following year, because Abdul is in the States, he goes and comes, but Kenneth was here. He had moved here, so it was like, okay, let's just do this. And then they started bringing all of us, the core team together, because they all knew different people, so brought it together. And then in 2017, we did the first one at Polo, Polo Courts?
Yeah.
The Polo Courts in airports. We did it small, we had 4,500. I still remember that number because we had printed a specific amount of tickets, and it was done. Like, we couldn't reprint, because usually if you've been to Afrochella, you realize our wristbands are unique every year. So it was like we were too conservative with the number, because we didn't want
4,500 done.
Yes, because we're like, the main thing was 4,500 as like spare.
Okay.
But on the day, it was done. Before we could open the gates, it was sold out, and there were people still outside trying to get in. So then we were like, oh wow, people are embracing, the concept.
The concept.
And then we continued. 2018, the number tripled, because we had a little over 12,000 people.
Wow.
And then that was at Elwak. That's when we moved to Elwak, because we realized we need a bigger space. And then 2019, year of return, we did a little over 16,000 as well. Then COVID came in 2020, so we took a break. We did like a block party, a small party, and then last year we came back, but because of the pandemic and some of the instructions we had from Ghana Health Service and stuff, we were conservative, so we did 10,000 last year. So yeah, it's been slow and a progressive, festival.
So you did 10,000 last year. That's why it was difficult for me to get a ticket.
Oh,
I didn't get a ticket.
So you see, usually we have a number we set aside where we're like, this is what we are trying to. This is the number we are dealing with. We're not trying to go overboard, because that's the thing with a lot of like events. They just print tickets for printing's sake. So sometimes it gets super choked, and then so. I'm so sorry you couldn't get. But this year,
if you don't give me tickets,
I will send you.
Thank you. If you don't give me tickets, I'll give you. A friend of mine, Bisechi, she was so bent on coming. She came to stand at the entrance without a ticket and make sure someone gave her a ticket, and she entered. I was always like, wow. Oba, if you had come and I'll bring your ticket too.
Oh, you get it.
You've done something in New York?
Yes. So we've been doing pop-ups and activations. Even 2 weeks ago, before
You've done an African country too.
We did Ivory Coast.
Yeah.
Yeah, we collaborated with Last Sunday. They're also, an events group there. They do like monthly parties and stuff. So we collaborated with them, and we were surprised, because it's a different country, so you're nervous. Are people gonna come? And it was packed. It was an experience. This was like 2 weeks ago, and then before that, the week before, we did we collaborated with Africon. It's also an expo kind of a festival. It's across 3 days. So they have panel talks. They do the African ball, where people dress up in their garments and stuff, and then they also have like a mini festival. And then we also did the Battle of the Jollof. It's the real Jollof, Ghana versus Nigeria. It's a
Nigerian
basketball.
jollof.
It's a basketball tournament. It was fun, and
It
as
would
usual,
be fun.
Ghana won. So
Of course.
on both fronts, basketball.
But
and
the jollof, if we don't win, who will win?
Right?
As for that one, you
Right?
know. No,
But yeah.
in fact, no country can compare. No. So this year,
Yeah.
what
so
are we expecting?
this year is 2 days. This is the first time we're doing 2 days because we realized
Oh la la.
we realized the one day is not working
It's not enough.
for. It's not enough for people. So we're doing 2 days where both days have a set of artists, and then we open gates the regular time from 12 where people can come. Because another thing about Afrochella is we like people to come in during the day a lot. You come in during the day, you can experience the arts, the installations, people stand to take pictures and stuff. The vendors, we have a whole vendor village every year where there's food, there's art, there's like beauty and fashion stores as well where people come and like sell. And then another thing about our vendors are they're unique because we pick specific vendors for specific reasons. So apart from the usual burger, pizza and those things, we do like African food as well, like different. So you could go to a stall that's just jollof rice. You could go to a stall that's just fried yam and chofi. You could go to just to give people the experience because for us, our numbers is both diaspora and Ghanaian and local. So we always, and that's one of the things the diaspora they love when they come to Afrochella. It's just wow, there's so much culture here. There's so much going on. Even last year we had like the northern chiefs who came in. There's some northern chiefs that came in on like horses.
Wow.
It was a whole thing. It was a display. They came in. Their service got down. They were dancing, drums, and everyone was like, "Wow, this is very interesting. We've never experienced this before." So for us, Afrochella is not about there's an artist coming to perform. For us, it's about the entire experience. You're coming there for the experience, not just I'm come to see my favorite artist perform, because that's like a little part of the entire festival.
But then, talking about artists, have you decided on the artist who is going to headline this year's show?
We usually decide the year before. We always know.
Oh, okay. So you've decided.
Yeah,
so
but I am not going to mention just yet. Oh no.
Nobody will hear.
No.
Or you tell me off air.
Oh no.
You have to tell me so I get my money ready.
But here's the thing: before the end of this month, we are announcing the headliner. So don't worry.
Before the end of this. And you say it's frequent.
Oh no. Don't worry.
Before the end of this month.
Before end of June, it's coming.
But we are in the middle of June.
Yeah, so
say it. It's still before the end of the month.
Patient. It will come.
You're breaking my heart.
It will come. He's excited. Very excited. Yeah. And
in fact, I'm going to do my homework. Tomorrow, I'll bring you the name. It's me, Abagai guy. Penny. Tomorrow, I come and tell them.
But yeah, we will be announcing a headliner. We will also be releasing some early bird tickets, so that if you want to get your tickets ahead of time, because like we always try to release a bunch first. Okay. So that those who want to get their tickets early, they can just get it. So we'll be announcing our early bird tickets pretty soon. Pretty soon. But
then, have you ever
Yeah.
thought of taking Afrochella? I mean, the whole Afrochella thing, everything, all the beauty, all the glam that comes with it, to other countries?
Yeah, we have, and that's why this year we are doing smaller activations in terms of collaborating with other countries. For instance, the Ivory Coast party, it was a form of letting people know, this is the brand. This is without it being heavy. You just get up and dump it on the country. So if we decide, next year we're going back to Ivory Coast to do an Afrochella, they already know the brand.
They know you.
So we are doing a lot of activations this year in different countries. We have about 2 other countries. I can't mention yet because we haven't finished certain details. But we are doing other, collaborative activations in other countries, events and stuff. 2 more in African countries before the end of the year, and then I think another 2 outside of Africa. So yeah, small. Then when we decide, next year we're doing Afrochella elsewhere, people would know what it is. But Afrochella is Ghanaian owned and African owned.
Ghanaian owned and African
all
owned.
founders are Ghanaian.
Are Ghanaians.
Yes.
I'm going to take you back to something you said earlier.
Yeah.
Earlier bit of the conversation. When it was first hosted at the Polo grounds. You sold 4,500 tickets.
Yeah.
What did you do different? It was a first time.
Yeah.
You sell out all your tickets.
Yeah.
I know people tried getting tickets they didn't get. What was that extra thing that you did? That a first time event sold out completely?
Honestly, I wouldn't, I hate to sound cliche, but I just think, you know, it was God and like the universe just aligning, because I wouldn't say there was like some special something that we did. We put a lot of planning, a lot of thought into planning how we wanted to do our rollouts. That's possibly it, you know, but again, like you're saying, for like a first time event to just sell out completely, you know, the day before the event is a bit unheard of. But we put a lot of planning into our rollouts. If you look at our rollouts, when we're announcing, how we announce, the kind of media that picks up, the international media and stuff that picks up, there's a particular thought and planning process that goes into it. But overall, it has to be the grace. It has to be the grace of God.
It has to be the grace of God.
Yeah.
I'll come to the grace of God. No, let me talk about, and that one, I said I was going to be, it would be the last question.
Okay.
So I'll push it to last question, because I want to ask something. But then I know you guys do clothing and all that. Is that one of the clothing you're wearing?
Yeah, this is Kevin. This is not, so we have other ventures, but it's not Afrochella. I don't want anyone to assume this is this is for Afrochella. So we have other businesses that we do. This is Kevin. It's a brand. It's a unisex. It started off as a male brand for, you know, clothes, as in shirts, kaftans, you know, two pieces and stuff. But we're unisex as well, because we believe anybody can wear our clothes, and, you know, women shouldn't be left out of feeling wearing the kind of clothes that we wear. You know, if you wear even this on it matches with what you're wearing.
Then match it, Papa.
You know?
Please, I come for one.
Oh yeah, sure.
I come for one, and I'll rock it here.
Yes,
you know, I'll rock it. It's very beautiful.
You should.
It's very beautiful.
Yeah.
So let's go to the grace.
Okay.
As we were answering the question, I wanted the name of the event. Have you guys ever thought of doing something for the gospel industry?
This is funny. It's actually funny you mentioned this. So after the 2018 festival, you know, we actually had a conversation concerning 2019, where like before, because Afrochella is December, it's always been and it will always be for December. But we're thinking, oh, you know, we should do something gospel related, but we didn't want to rush into it, because that's, as much as people don't like to admit it, is an entirely different, not genre, there's a word I'm looking for. It's an entirely different area to venture into. You can be like, oh yeah, I do events. But when you're planning an event for everybody, quote unquote, secular people, as the Christians call it, it's totally different from planning for gospel, because with gospel, you need to see you need to go certain places, you need to go to certain churches. Like, there's so many things that go into planning a gospel, and people don't like to admit, they like to assume it's the same process, but it's not. You know, so we had the conversation and we said, okay, let's wait and properly know what we're doing. Because another thing about our team is we never just get up and leave things to chance.
Okay.
You know, it will be fine, or it will fall in place. We always try to, you know, plan everything every step of the way. So
I asked this question because when you were coming, you heard me mention Afro Nation.
Yeah.
And then you quickly said, no, your brand is not that. And I said, no, that's not what we're talking about. Yeah. In the morning, I had that confusion. So I decided to clear it before coming into the studio. I asked about the gospel thing because At the end of, it was during the Easter holidays, I think 30th to 2nd May, there was a one voice concert. It was a 3 days gospel event.
Okay.
And in fact, all 3 days put together, I don't think that the number of people who went to that event, 3 days put together, would be up to 600.
Really?
Would not be up to 600.
I'm surprised. Where was it held though?
Oh, it was in Accra here.
Okay.
It was just around the trade fair area.
Okay, I didn't hear of it.
Thank you. It had all the big gospel artists you can think of.
Yeah.
It had the Akese Brimpong, it had Joe Metal, it had Kwesi Otin, Efe Grace, Bethel Revival Choir, Cindy Thompson, Koda, Kofi Kakari, Kofi Pepra, Chamins, like every known gospel artist in this country was built.
And less than 600?
About
600. I'm shocked, because another thing is, I always thought gospel events pull more people, because like a lot of churches, a lot of, Ghanaians, the Ghanaian community is mostly Christian, like when you look at the numbers. Yeah. So I personally always assumed that with gospel events, and you said it was around Easter.
It was around Easter.
That's possibly their mistake, because one thing you don't want doing is putting like major events in certain it's not a holiday, but certain, let me put it that way, Christian holidays, because people have plans. Like, I know you're probably going to say, oh, but Afrochella is in December.
It's in December.
But
we never
do
enjoying.
it. Yeah, but that's the thing. We never do it before or in that Christmas period. It's always after. We are always 28, getting to the end of the year. This year is 28th and 29th. Okay. So, and to put, I personally wouldn't put a major event in Easter. People are traveling out of town. People take Easter like the small toned down version of Christmas. So they try to do all their enjoyments in that period, even though it's very early in the year. So I would have put it prior to Easter or after Easter. But that's me personally.
That's you personally.
That's me personally. But I'm still shocked. 600 is small. Even when we host our parties.
The 600, I've actually been a bit generous.
Oh wow! Because even when we host, this is not to sound, I can blow in our trumpets, but even when we have parties, like smaller parties, we do way more than that.
I didn't know I was going to talk about this. I would have sent my team images. To show.
Okay, that's shocking. That's very shocking.
So if you were to do gospel,
with
this, would you still go ahead and do it?
Yeah. It has been in the pipeline. It's just the planning time, because we don't leave things to chance. Like, we like to put our ears to the ground, see what is working, what is not working, the gospel people and stuff, just to make sure we've done our research properly, so that when you roll out and you say, hey, we are doing this gospel, that conservatively we are doing at least 5,000 people, stuff like that. You have to plan. We never leave things to chance.
So you didn't plan it.
That's not what I'm saying. That is not what I'm saying. I'm just saying,
it needs proper planning.
Yeah, because 2018, you can ask anybody on the team when you meet them. After 2018, in 2019, we were like, we need to do a gospel concert, something for, because we were even considering bringing someone from outside and stuff. We started the process of planning and realized, we're not too sure what we're doing in that space. It's not the same as just hosting an event for like everybody, because you need to plan properly. And the thing is, even with hosting a gospel concert, you need to bring on, you need to talk to certain churches, you need to have all their youth people involved, so that is a collaborative effort with the different communities in the Christian community.
In the Christian community.
Yeah.
Now let's go back to December's event.
Yeah.
What date in December?
28th, 29th December 2022.
28th, 29th.
Yes, back to back.
Back to back.
Yes.
Won't you people run out of activities?
Activities. It's never enough for our patrons. One day, that is why we're forced. This was last year that we said, you know what, it's time. Because in 2019 we wanted to, but we said, let's do another year, because we had just moved to LWAC in 2018, the year before. So the following year we said, let's do another year, just to, you know. And then in 2021, we're still coming out of a pandemic, so it was like, hey, let's be conservative and do. So right after we said, look, it is time.
It's time.
You know, people stayed. Ask your friend. Wizkid came on late, but people stayed till he was done. People left LWAC after 4.
My friend sent me a message around 6 a.m. whilst I was still asleep.
Exactly.
That is now that she's gotten home, or was it now that she was on her way home or something?
Exactly, and that is why, you see, when you have 2 days, you can split the bill. So instead of all the artists performing on one day, you split it. So that, by 10 p.m., you've closed for your first day. People can go, come back the following day, and then do it all over again. Different installation. And another thing is, I don't want to speak on it yet, but there are certain events within Afrochella on the day off for both days. There's too many different things that we're bringing on this year.
I don't want to miss this year's own.
Oh, you can't. I would actually come here
and
accost you if you don't come.
Thank you. I'll come.
Oh, yes.
Definitely.
Yes,
but you send me tickets.
Oh, of course.
Thank you.
Of course.
Thank you.
I'll send it to you.
The venue, is it going to change?
No, it's LWAC.
LWAC.
Still LWAC, yeah.
Will it ever change?
Oh, yeah. Eventually, it will. There's
Don't you
plans.
think LWAC will be too small for this year's event?
No. Another thing is, people don't realize, again, how it depends on how you use LWAC. It can be much bigger and much smaller. So, because last year we made it much smaller, again, because of the pandemic and checks and all of that. And then this year we're expanding. LWAC is really big. People don't realize when when you have the time, just go there on an empty day when there's nothing going on. It's a very big stadium. It's a very, very big stadium. So yes, for now it's LWAC. Once we change, you know.
Once we change, we will know. This year tickets were what on 9?
Let me just hold on to it. There 1212 and then we
there's the info no mama na mezamo one.
That's all.
Thank you. But in someone can work there this year, you see January and I make it on the most my last year Christmas. Event we no. Say I'm for susu box in see what na chance anya susu 2022 Christmas over 4 call. Nti say na make sure the susu no elokodo. I mean mususu ni jai. Menyo bra wa habre no nya some papa. Man for less than 100 cedis mo for ntom susu box. Menyo bra papa. Sweetie pie. Yeah. Mr. Ampa.
Yes.
Thank you so much. It was great having you.
Thank you.
It was great having you. A very great conversation.
Thank you.
Quite insightful.